Touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now, top corner talking home run. Touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now, top corner like.
What's up guys, it's me Eric B, and in this video we're going to be doing a coolant flush on the Panigale V2, and what we're going to be replacing the coolant with is some good old engine ice here. And then some of the things you're going to need is not only the engine ice itself, but you're going to need some distilled water to do the flush, and then a bucket to get rid of all the old coolant and then dispose of it the proper way and everything. So what we're going to need to do first is get the side fairings off, which are always a pain in the butt. And I'm going to have to take off this side because the overfill reservoir is right here, and then I need to be able to get to the hose and then the fill cap on the radiator itself. And then the other side I'm going to remove, just because on the radiator there is a little drain plug right at the bottom of the radiator, and I just want to be able to get all of the fluid out the best that I can. All right guys, so you don't have to change out the coolant in your bike if you don't want to. I'm only doing it because it's supposed to help the temps stay a little bit cooler, and also I plan to do some track days, and some organizations won't allow you to run the normal OEM coolant. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get these fairings off and get to work. All right, so this is gonna be my first time taking these fairings off. We did have them off at the Ducati dealership when I did the exhaust, but it shouldn't be any different from any other sport bike, so I'm not gonna really go through you know, every detail of taking the fairings off, but you can see, you know, some of the ones right here on the outside, and there's one right in there. You got another one down there, and then there are some on the bottom that you need to remove. And then there's a couple on the inside of the fairing there as well. So we really only need to get this bottom piece off, but I believe we're gonna have to also take this top piece off as well. So you do have to take this inside piece off, which is pretty simple to take off. There's like 2 push pins, and I think there's like 2 screws there to take off. So that's pretty simple. And then as we get all of the bottom off and everything, I'll figure out where we need to take the screws off here. All right, so I finally got the fairing off on the side here, and that by far is the worst of any of the bikes that I've owned. There are so many screws, and they're just hidden in like weird places. Most of the obvious ones you can see, but as you move it around, you need to like look to see what's still connected, and you'll see there's some like right here. I had to take the battery cover off just to get to one. There was one that was hidden behind another panel on the fairing itself. There's a few in the front, and then there's a couple right here in the front. There's actually 3. There's one big silver one, and then 2 that connect to the front fairing. And yeah, you just gotta play with it until you get them all out. But the main thing is we got to the overfill reservoir right here. We got to the fill cap on the radiator, and then right here, typically on most bikes, you go to the lowest point where the hose is and find the bolt that you need to loosen up, and that'll allow it to drain out. But I think we are gonna have to go on the other side, and there is a little bolt on the side of the radiator, and take that off so we can drain it from there as well. All right, so it's been a while since I've done a coolant change, and the last one I did on a Ducati was on my 1199, and basically the only thing I had to do was drain it from the radiator. I didn't have to do it from anywhere else on the bike. My previous bikes, like my R6 and stuff like that, I had to find the lowest point where the hose was, where the radiator hose was, and like disconnect a little screw from there, and it would all drain out from there. I don't recall there being a drain plug on the radiator or not, but each bike's a little bit different, so I assume I only have to do it from here, and that's it, because I didn't see anywhere else on the engine to do it. And plus, this bike is so new anyways that I can't find anything online, you know, if there is an additional drain plug or anything like that. If you guys happen to know, definitely let me know, but we're just gonna do it from here and see what happens. Oh, probably need to go pop the top over there. There we go. Oh. All right, you also may want to get the bike onto the kickstand just so you can lean it over and get the rest of the coolant out. So I'm gonna do that right now. Hopefully without making a mess. There we go. All right, now that I've drained the radiator, I'm gonna put the bike back up real quick now that I have the radiator cap off. Now I'm gonna check this one more time to see if anything comes out of this. I'm gonna go to the lowest point here and see if anything comes out, because nothing did the first time, but we're just gonna double check it again. And then after that, we'll go ahead and flush it with some distilled water. All right, so I just checked. So right here, I removed this black bolt right there. And then behind it is this silver piece right here. I removed that and nothing came out, it was completely dry. Then I tried that bolt right there, if you guys can see it. I tried doing that, nothing. So I don't think I have to worry about anything coming out other than the radiator. Like I said, I don't know of any other spots on this bike just because it's so new. And I can't find anything online or anything in an instruction book or something like that that shows where there's additional drain plugs for the coolant. So hopefully it's just the radiator and that's all we have to worry about. All right, next what we want to do is make sure we get all the fluid out of our overfill reservoir. So just disconnect the clip down here on the bottom, pull this hose out, and then we should be able to get it out there. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna flush the radiator with some distilled water. You're gonna run that through a couple times, make sure all the old stuff is out, and then we'll fill it up, and then we'll run the bike, get it to operating temperature, let it cool off, drain it, and then flush it one more time, and then we should be good to go to refill it with the new coolant. You want to keep doing that until you start seeing clear water coming out inside the bucket, and now I am starting to see it just now. All right, so I only let it get up that high. I've heard some say let it get up to, you know, where the fans kick on and everything and then turn it off, but I think we're good enough to go ahead and move on to the next step. All right, also for good measure, I went ahead and popped the radiator hose off of this portion right here, and as you can see, there's still some pink OEM radiator coolant coming out. So it's dripping out of there, and it was coming a little bit out of the hose, but it's pretty much good now. So I'm just gonna continue to let that drain for a little bit, and then I'll go on the other side and drain the radiator. And just because I actually was able to get some to drain from here, I'm just gonna refill it, start it back up, let it heat up again, and then drain it again. All right guys, so that's it. The hardest part is really getting the fairings off, because this bike is crazy when it comes to taking these things apart. But the actual flush itself is pretty straightforward, just like any other bike pretty much, other than the fact I couldn't find an area down in here where you're supposed to be able to drain it from when you remove a screw. But I was able to just remove the hose, did it that way. We leaned it over, drained it on the other side from the little drain cap that's on the side of the radiator. We got the engine ice installed, and I did the flush like 3 times just to make sure. You know, I would fill it up, I would flush it, fill it up, run it, let it cool, drain it, and then do it again. So we got the engine ice in, we got the reservoir topped off and everything. Everything looks like it's good to go. And I'm gonna go ahead and get the fairings put back on. I don't think I really need to show that. And yeah, I hope that this video was informational enough for you guys that are wanting to do this, and then it, you know, gave you a little bit more confidence. And if you guys got any comments or questions, definitely let me know. And if you find a better way to do it, and you find some additional drain plugs or anything like that, let me know. But yeah, guys, that's it. So if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. I'll try to push out more content on this bike as we go along. And other than that, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.